They are also going on here. It's being telecasted. Good morning. This is John.
More of girls, I think, sir.
Yes, sir. ಇಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬಂದಿರೋರು ಒಂದು ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅವರು ಇನ್ನೂ 8 ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಅವರು.
The torch illuminating the path to victory.
A very good morning to everyone present here. I'm Dhwani.
I am Manan and we are from the Commerce Forum. We would like to extend a warm welcome to our Honorable Chairman Dr. Jain sir in absentia, our Principal Dr. S.N. Natrat sir and the heads of the Department of Commerce, Prasanna Kumar sir and Anupama in absentia.
We would also like to welcome our speaker for the day, Dr. Deepa ma'am, who has been gracious to provide her valuable time to this program.
Further, we welcome our respected teachers and all the aspiring students who will benefit the most from this initiative by acquiring constructive inputs on exam preparation.
We are gathered here for the commencement of the special training program on the subject economics.
We would now like to request our Principal Dr. S.N. Natrat sir to speak a few words.
Why every time me? Let's give a chance for the one who has been invited. Huh? Without much ado, we request Deepa ma'am to take over. I am here always to motivate you. All the best, ma'am.
Sir, thank you so
Stage
much.
is yours.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
And we are fortunate to have Deepa ma'am here. In fact, Bangalore North Principals Association had requested her to deliver the lecture and conduct workshop for the economics teachers of Bangalore North District. But having given the consent for us, she is here today. Ma'am, we are very fortunate to have you. Thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you, sir. And I can't say no to Natrat, sir. You know, he was the one who supported us to grow so far. So obviously I can't say no. Never, sir.
Ma'am was with us in Jain University. And
Long
then
before.
she was appointed by the government of Karnataka through KPSC. Now she is working in KR Puram
College. Yeah.
College. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Deepa ma'am is a postgraduate from Bangalore University, specializing in urban economics. Her qualifications include the UGC National Eligibility Test in Economics, and she holds a doctorate from the University of Mysore.
She has presented numerous research papers at national and state level seminars and has also contributed to the training sessions that were organized for Karnataka Public Service Commission aspirants.
Ma'am has worked as a resource person for DSCRT in preparation of economics textbook content for specially abled students. Currently, she is working as a senior faculty in the Department of Economics at Government Pre-University College, KR Puram.
We now request Deepa ma'am to address the students.
Good morning, one and all. Am I audible? I hope I'm audible. Right. Thanks for this wonderful opportunity where I can meet the best of the brains in Bangalore, because I know, Jain has always set the standards apart, and we have the best students. And whenever the rank list was released, there was a trend where the ranks were given in the PO department. So usually we used to look in, who are from Jains. That was a trend then. Either Jains. Once upon a time, the Christ was the leading university with the highest number of ranks. Jain grew as one of the greatest content of Christ, and the trend continues. And I hope, it's not about the ranks as such, but I'm talking about the quality and the content what you people are putting in for the. Really happy that I'm there with you today. Today, I was told to just give some inputs so that you're all ready for the examination. So I'm just here to give that last minute input where you can score one on one. Okay, so it is like, today I have planned my presentation in such a way that I can tell you few things where you are losing that one last marks because you're all prepared for 99. There are chances or there are situations where you will lose that one marks and centum will be not yours. So we just discuss over that. Okay, if at all if you have any doubts, please do feel free to ask me so that I'll be more comfortable in asking, in times of interaction than, going on for a monotonous presentation. Okay, so just I would like to, just introduce my presentation. Just next slide, please. So this is how I have planned for today's discussion, looking into the chapters outline, what and all we have. Okay, then we will be discussing about the weightage of marks for each chapter, how it is allotted, and what are the expectations from each chapters that we are looking into, and the new pattern of 80-20, which you are already introduced to, and question paper pattern. There are very minor changes for the question paper pattern that you will be taking up in the final exam. And of course, you will be well aware of this time management. Let's discuss few things on that. And of course, strategies. What are the things that you can work on to score well? Okay. See, as you know, we had 6 chapters in part A. The last chapter is taken off. Okay. So at different seminars, where I go and talk to children, they still believe, that the 6th chapter is there because they're scared to say that one chapter is left out. Should we read or shouldn't we read? So all these questions will be raised. So 6th chapter is dropped off from the syllabus. So you don't have the 6th chapter. So these are the 5 chapters that you have. Part A. Next. Part B, all 6 chapters are retained. In the open economy, last chapter, there are few segments of or subunits of the chapters which are deleted. Okay, one is gold standard. Okay, you had a project oriented question on gold standard. Okay, so that has been dropped off. Apart from that, exchange rate management, then types of exchange rates, advantages and disadvantages of exchange rate, all are retained. Okay, they are there. So please do concentrate on that. That's the only change that you have got in chapter 6. Okay, open economy. Rest all topics are retained in that chapter. Next one, please. So I'll straight away I'll get into the marks distribution. See, when it comes to exam preparation, of course, we have to give judicious choice to all chapters. Okay. This is just the observation based on the question paper and the blueprint. Okay. So what you have to look in as a person who are aiming at, who is aiming at 100 marks is, you can prioritize the chapters like this. You can prioritize, but don't just stick to this. But of course, I can say 90% of the question paper setters will definitely follow this pattern of weightage distribution. Okay. So when it comes to microeconomics, the very first chapter which has got highest weightage is consumer behavior. Whatever the given distribution of marks in whatever the type, okay, whatever the kind of question paper is set, more marks will definitely be given, more questions or more marks will be asked from the consumer behavior chapter. Okay, microeconomics, this is the chapter which has got the higher weightage, followed by theory of firm under perfect competition. Okay, make sure that you cover all the concepts, okay, that are there in this particular chapter. Then you have production costs and market equilibrium. They both have been given the same distribution of marks, 10-10 each. Okay, and introduction, very minor chapter. So only 6 marks would be approximately allotted to that chapter. Okay, coming to the macroeconomics, it is national income accounting, which will be, which will be awarded more weightage, 17 marks merely. It will be given, asked from that particular chapter. Then open economy and money and banking will have 12 marks each. Government budget and the economy, 10 marks. Determination of income and employment, 8 marks. And introduction, 5 marks. Now, when I'm talking about this, see, when a question paper is asked to set, we can't deviate from this weightage. Okay, this is this is the standard accepted throughout the state. So obviously we can't deviate from this, but it is not strictly advised to follow. There is no cutthroat rule that I have to give 20 marks from this chapter. There can be a variation of plus or minus 2 or 3. So that variation will happen. Okay, so nobody can say like only 20 marks will be given from consumer behavior. It may change. It can vary, but very marginal changes, minor changes will be there. Okay, the same thing holds good for all the chapters. So there will be variation plus or minus 3 maximum, not more than that. Okay, next. And when it comes to the total marks distribution, see in the older question paper, okay, the question paper was set for 149 marks. Okay, the total marks for the including choices I'm saying, it was set for 149. Now the total marks has it been brought down to 80. Okay, so now the total marks with choices is 121. So with choice, the questions, total number of questions you will be given, and accordingly the marks will be allotted. So it will be 121 marks you will be taking on for 80 marks question paper. And previously it was 71 marks was given for micro and 78 marks for macro. When you see the relative weightage was more for macroeconomics. Given the changes, given the recent changes, same thing, though it was 121 marks paper, now 57 marks will be given from micro and 64 marks will be given from macro. The relative weightage has not changed. Okay, the relative importance is being given to macroeconomics. So macroeconomics, you will have more number of questions. Okay, more number of questions and more marks will also be given from the macroeconomics. So comparatively speaking, you have to concentrate more on macroeconomic concepts, because as you observe, when it comes to the conceptual explanation, whether it is comparison, analysis, presentation or skill part, it is macroeconomics which has more marks. Okay, more varied questions you have in macroeconomics. So please concentrate on macroeconomics. Okay, so comparatively to micro, doesn't mean that this is not important, equally important, but more weightage is being given. This is how I'm speaking, basically how the question paper is set. Okay, so once you understand this, probably it will help you in polishing the preparation that you have done. Okay, next one. See, what are the changes that we have been introduced to this year probably, and this will be the thing which will be adopted in your final examination. See, previously you didn't have one word answer, one sentence, one word answer, that is added, 5 are added. Okay, so objective type questions, you will have 4 sections. First one is object multiple choice. Okay, then fill in the blanks, then you have match the following, then one word answers, 5 each. So these 4 sections are very crucial when it comes to scoring 100. Okay, in the descriptive type, see, when we evaluate questions, okay, when you evaluate answers and when valuation happens, it is widely subjective. If I am correcting for 6 on 6, I can give, but somebody else may think, okay, why 6, just give 5, because some other criteria might be their consideration. But it is in the objective type questions where we cannot do that. It is quite objective in nature, so we cannot say no to any of the right answers given here. So you have to be very, very particular, okay, in writing or studying these, and be very sure in learning these multiple choice questions. Then the one changes in the fill in the blanks they have made is they have added answers, choice of answers to the fill in the blank section. Previously it was not there. Now you have the choices given in the fill in the blanks. One addition is there will be an extra one answer. Like if there are 5 questions, they would have given 6 choices. So that will be there. So just make sure that the right answer is chosen, and most closely related answers might be given just to confuse you or deviate you. So that will be there. That need to be noted. And as I told you, 1 mark questions are added. 5 1 mark questions will be there without choices. And what these 3 things what I told you, they are all without choices. Okay, you don't have any choice. Previously there were choices. Okay, multiple choice questions were also increased to 10. Now it is reduced back to 5. So all these changes have been done. So ultimately it is 5, 5, 5 and 5. Okay, MCQ, fill in the blanks, match the following, and the one word answers. Then you have more choices in 2 marks, 4 marks, 6 marks questions, which we will discuss in the later portion of the presentation. Then less number of questions to be answered in 2, 4 and 6 compared to the previous paper. Okay. And coming to the internal assessment, this is about 80 marks and 20 marks. As 80 marks you will be taking up the midterm. You have already faced 80 marks paper, and the same thing would be repeated in the final examination. Okay. For the assignments, I think you have already submitted the assignments, so that will be valued by the teachers, and the 10 marks will be given based on that. Okay. And why I have put this here is blueprint. Before discussing, I'll discuss blueprint, but before discussing, I'll make sure that blueprint is the most versatile and volatile. Okay. See, one thing, let me make you clear. Wherever I go, especially in the urban areas, just now I was discussing with the faculty here. One common question I get is the same blueprint what we have for model paper comes for the final examination? My straight answer is no. Because each person who is asked to set the question paper will have a different blueprint to set for. Okay. See, once I release my blueprint, okay, that means I don't have to release, it's like, releasing the question paper in disguise. It's as simple as that. So, you cannot expect the one common blueprint for the entire year or for the entire examination. No. As the question paper changes, the question paper setter changes, blueprint changes, and as blueprint changes, question paper also changes. Okay. So, please have this in mind. Don't have that many of asking like, is this the, different blueprint? But yes, there are few subjects, probably science subjects, wherein they have fixed blueprint. Okay. That means they know how many marks comes from which chapter and what will be the weightage, total weightage and fixed weightage. Okay. That is because, they have this NEET and CET exams to be taken up. So, because of those reasons, they prioritize the board exams very less. So, because of that, they have that arrangement. But for us, it's not like that. So, it is, we don't have fixed blueprint. So, don't fix on that. Okay. Blueprint will definitely change. Next. See, this is the distribution of marks based on the new model paper. Okay, and yes, as I told you, 90% the same thing might be, it's not 90%, it's 100% will be the same thing, because this is just the number of questions that has been asked for. As I told you, there are 5 parts. Part A has objective type questions. Okay, in each 5 questions will be asked, and you have to answer all the 5. No choice here. Okay, and the total marks will be 5. Okay, and the short answer question is 2 marks question. Okay, here each question carried 2 marks. The number of questions will be given 10. 10 2-mark questions will be given. Okay, out of which you have to answer only 6. Okay, you should answer only 6. And obviously, total marks that will be given for 20, and you will be answering only for 12 marks. Okay. For long answer questions, that is 4-mark questions, 9 questions will be given. Totally in that section, you will be given 9 questions, out of which you will be answering 5. Okay. And to be answered is, 5. Okay. And essay type question refers to 6 marks question. So, 6 marks question, 5 will be given, out of which you will be answering only 3. Okay. And accordingly, the marks will be given. And last section, project oriented questions you have. So, 3 will be given, out of which 2 has to be written. See here, total number of questions in the question paper will be 47. There will be 47 questions in the question paper, out of which you will be answering only 36. Okay. And 121 will be the total marks for which the question paper will be set, and you will be answering for 80 marks. You will be valued for 80 marks. Okay. So, here, out of this, whatever the time criteria is been given. Okay. Next slide. According to the marks allotment or whatever it is, a judicious allotment of time can be done. Okay. Compared to previous paper, this batch, you will be the first batch, will be taking up this paper. You will have enough time to present your answers, okay, and to make your views very clear. So now in the part A, as I told you, you have 1 mark question. The answers will be given. You just have to choose and write. Even I think I have given 1 minute per question. Okay, but I think that will be too many things, too much of time. Actually, not even, it doesn't take even 1 minute. But why I have put this time allotment here is, see, you people, especially I've seen this only with the meritorious people. You get tensed very soon. Okay. And the second thing is, you know everything in the question paper. You start thinking what to write first. That overthinking makes you to, lose out some minor things in between, wherein you might lose few marks there. Okay. So please relax yourself. You have lot of time. Okay. I think if you start doing with the speed which you are practicing now, okay, I think you can finish half an hour early before the set time. Now I have just given this, within 20 minutes you will be finishing the first part of the question paper. Within 20 minutes. I think you can do it within 15 minutes also. Okay, but take time. Okay, think, choose the right answer, then do it. Okay. Then part B, the 2 mark questions. Okay, as I told you, you will be answering only 6 questions. Allot 5 minutes to each of the questions. So 30 minutes. Okay, a judicious 30 minutes will do. So in the first 50 minutes, you will be, completing. You will be getting 50 marks. And that will be like you're past the examination already. The first 20-30 minutes, you're past the examination. Only the remaining time you have to excel. That's it. Okay. So part C, 5 mark questions. Allot 10 minutes for each question. Take this time. Take 10, spacious minutes. Just answer it, and another 1 hour, 50 minutes will go there. Okay. Then part D, 3. You have to answer only 3 questions. Allot 20 minutes to each, at least per question. Allot 20 minutes, judicious allotment. So another 1 hour. Okay. Then last question, you have got only 2 questions to be answered. I think within 5 minutes you will finish it off. Okay, because you know what are the questions will be asked. Okay, so naturally you will know, even if I ask you to go for a blindfold examination writing, you will excel in that, because we know already what are the questions. See, you people, this batch of students, this matters a lot. This 10 minutes matter a lot for you, because I tell you, there are many papers where I have personally seen, either you would have done the smallest mistake which you might not have noticed while writing the examination. It could be writing the question numbers wrong, main numbers wrong. Okay. See, if it is a paper, I'll tell you, if it is a paper wherein a student has got 28 or something, or now it is 24 as a passing mark, let me say 18 or 19, and he wants to pass. Okay. There, if I get a paper where he has written the question number wrong, probably I'll take it as a consideration. Okay, I'll say, yeah, for 14th answer, what you have written, answer is right, but the question number is wrong. So I'll take it and I'll give marks. But if it is a centum paper, a paper which has got 100 out of 100, I can't do that, because that will be, put online, right? So anybody can question. They can go to the court also and say, like, this particular answer to this question is wrong, because you don't write questions in the examinations, right? So all this can happen. See, these questions or these mistakes will not come to our mind when we are writing, especially with the merit students. Okay. So these things, these minor things, please take note. So this last 10 minutes or 15 minutes of time, what you have, see, please go through as if you are rewriting the answer script again. From A to Z, whatever you have written, right from the main question number to the question number that you have written for the particular question answer. Okay, have you underlined, have all the points been covered? So please go through all this. Okay, have you written the spellings correct? Okay, most of you write cursive answers, cursive writing. Okay, cursive style of writing. So probably, here and there you might miss out R, S, A and all that. So please go through all that and see to it that you are convinced that yes, I am done. I have given the best version of mine, and only then you have to leave the examination hall. So that's why I say your 100 depends on that last 10 minutes, not upon the 70 marks that you have written. Okay, but that 10 minutes last 10 minutes which you devote to relook into your answer scripts will, definitely add on value to your scoring 100 on 100. Okay, next one. Next slide. See, this is the model blueprint that you have for the paper, for the model paper, the blueprint what is released. So I have put it here. It is only for the model paper, and this is not for the final examination. Make sure of this. Okay, but there are few things in this which can be carried on for the final examination also. Amongst first thing is that, see, as I told you, the distribution of marks cannot change, the number of questions cannot change, the choices cannot change. Okay, so all this, the first portion of this cannot change. I have to give in the first main, I have to give 5 questions. I have to give 5 questions. Whether I set the paper, madam set the paper, or anybody given a chance to set the paper, we can't change this structure. This remains the same. And you have something like, here remembering, understanding, apply, and HOTS question. HOTS is nothing but high order thinking skills. Okay, see, that depends on, the kind of questions which are based on the analyzing type. Okay, where you have to compare and write, where you will write the diagrams, where you explain the answers based on the tabular structure and diagrammatic structure. Okay, so these are the things that are taken into consideration here. For your information, see, remembering is the easiest way of answering the question. It's like, for example, name the book written by Adam Smith or Keynes. Okay, so these are the questions which come in remembering section. Okay, so such questions, such easy type questions wherein you can just recall the answer in a jiffy, so that will be to an extent of 40% in the total marks distribution, and it will be therefore 47, to an extent of 47 marks. Okay, out of 121, 47 marks or questions will be of easy kind of recalling time. Okay, understanding, it will be for 30 marks, and 38 marks, which will compose it, which will make up for 38% of the total marks allotment. Accordingly, application type questions will be for 24 marks. Okay, hot questions, okay, which will be of little higher difficulty, you have for 12 marks. Coming to this, as I told you, this weightage of marks or the distribution of marks can differ marginally, plus or minus 2 or 3. Rest all, the distribution stands the same. Okay, so next slide please. A point what I want to make it clear is, see, for example, this is just an example. See, when the person is allotting the marks to a particular chapter, okay, I've taken an example for theory of consumer behavior. I can allot the 20 marks or 19 or 21 marks, as I told you, plus or minus 3 kind of marks. I have to allot in the range of the same 20, 19 or 21 to this chapter. I can allot any number of times, or this is a different combination of allotment of marks I can do. So only I'm telling not to stick to one particular blueprint or one particular distribution of marks. See, I can give 3 1 markers, 1 2 markers, 4 1 4 markers, 1 6 markers, and 1 5 markers to make up 20. Or else I can have different combination of questions taking up from the same chapter. Okay, so this happens with all the chapters. So obviously the change, the blueprint will change, the question paper will change accordingly. Okay, next one. So what you have to make is, you have to prepare a checklist for each chapter. Now you are all done with the syllabus, I understand, and as I understand, you are also done with the revisions and preparations. Now if I give you the question paper also, you will write the examinations. Okay, I think you are all set with that kind of preparation. So what now your job is to start revision, exercising on revision. So first thing what you have to do is prepare a checklist like this for each chapter. Okay, see, on an average, you can just forget this. This is for the other reasons I put it here. Marks allotted could be 18 to 20 to 23 for this chapter. Maximum is 23, least is 18. On an average, 20 marks will be given for this chapter. Now, for this chapter, what are the things that you need to prepare? What are the concepts that you need to prepare from these chapter? Okay, one is utility concepts. Once you learn this, you will be learning the definition, the comparison, the formula, calculation. Okay, then indifference curve and map, again the definitions, okay, components, features and the diagrammatic representation. Likewise, you can make a note of all concepts, what concepts will be given from each chapter for how many marks, and accordingly you can prepare a model checklist for all chapters. So this will definitely help you. Just as you prepare with this, are you comfortable with the preparation, just give a check mark and you are done with the preparation. Okay, next. As a evaluator, what I expect from the best paper. Okay, see, one is when it is for 1 marks question or 1 word question, it should be to the point. Don't roam around the bush. I know you know so many things. You might have read too many concepts. You might have understood the concept in depth than what is being taught in the class. It's all fine. But in the examination for 1 markers, I look forward answer only to the point, and it should be the bullseye. 1 word or 1 sentence. Okay, so that is what is required. Like see, most of the time, you know, even in the paper who has scored 99, okay, or who will be scoring 100 also, I find a mistake where, see, a question will be asked, what is GDP? As I told you, with the enthusiasm of writing everything, with the overconfidence of knowing like, yeah, I know everything, or maybe I've prepared like that, okay, I don't understand the question properly. When I say what is GDP, most of the people will write gross domestic product. I'm not asking you the expansion there. The concept asked is to explain the meaning of GDP there. See, unless they mention or specify expand or give the abbreviation, okay? So you are not supposed to expand or just leave it there, okay? See, this is a mistake where you might lose 1 mark, okay? These are the things which I just want to bring into your notice, okay? So that you remember these when you write your answers. So what is asked there? To explain the meaning. Of course, the word meaning is not there. When I say expand GDP or expand MRS, do that, okay? When I say what is MRS or what is GDP, you are expected to write the meaning of that or definition of that. In 2 mark questions, we expect the clarity on the concepts that you have understood, okay? For example, you have utility approaches, okay? Cardinal and ordinal. So when you are defining them, okay, you can also state, first you define it, cardinal and ordinal, okay? One is where an approach where you measure the utility in terms of numbers, and when you you compare the utility relatively in terms of ranks or ranking. So after that, is it possible to give an example for it? Just for 2 marks, it is possible, okay? You write utility, if you eat an apple, say for, you know, you have this in the formula also, TU is equal to U1 plus U2, U3. So that measures the number of utility or the utility expressed in numbers. Ranking, you can compare mangoes and apples, standard example that we follow through the text, right? So which is better? Likewise, you will be giving more weightage to your answers, okay? Wherein evaluator should never be given a chance thinking, you know, where I can cut the marks, okay? We will be thinking, where can I get the marks? A paper which crosses 97, we will stop looking what is correct. We will start looking where I can cut the marks. I'll start searching for the mistakes. See, this is a typical mentality of all the evaluators who are there. Because a paper which has scored 97 will be valued by 3 people, okay? 3 people will value the paper. Only then, if asked, it will be put onto the university website, okay? And of course, that will be shared with the other states also, okay? So like that, when that is a criteria, so you can make yourself or your answers much better relatively compared to others, and say like you give no scope for cutting of marks anywhere. Okay, again, this happens in the inferior goods. Okay, they are the goods where you relate demand and income. Yeah, but we know brain says income, hand would have written price, because we know demand and price always go with one another. We are used to it actually. This is somewhat the problem with habituation. The moment I say demand, the price comes. Okay, so you would have thought of writing price, but income, you would have written price. Okay, this might happen, so please take care of these things. The deficits also, fiscal and fiscal deficit, and you have revenue deficits. Okay, you write the definition. Below that, just state the same thing in the formula. Okay, that is quite easier. You would have defined it. Okay, revenue deficits will be revenue expenditure minus revenue receipts, right? RD is equal to RE minus RR. So that adds the value to the answer. Okay, so why I have mentioned these are my personal observations while evaluating papers, where paper would have got 100 and probably for these reasons the marks are not given. The last 1 mark is not given. So that is why I thought like probably if I share this, that might help you. Okay, next 4 marks, we expect content explanation. Basically, see, 4 and 6 marks are asked to know how well have you understood the concept and how well you put across your explanation. Okay, see, 1 and 2 marks are only to understand the concept, the main concept, the year, the book, the name of the book, or such simple concepts that you have looked into. 4 and 6 marks will be asked only to know how well you have understood the concept, how well you have internalized the concept, how well you can analyze the concept, okay, how well you can put forth the differences, how well can you substantiate any statement that is given. So that will be tested in 4 and 6 marks. So content explanation is important. Subheadings are must. Most of the 4 mark questions will have the subunits to be explained. Okay, you have charts to be displayed, budget component charts, you have balance of payment, component charts, current account, capital account. These charts are asked for 4 marks. So represent them in the flow diagram or flow chart only, and be very clear and very specific, and use the space given to you in the answer sheet very well. Okay, you can make it the horizontal representation also in the paper. Okay, if not vertical, make it a horizontal presentation. So that is also fine. Okay, so that should be taken care. In 6 marks, as I told you, analysis, your ability to analyze an answer, compare, relate, okay, tabular representation, and based on the tabular representation, explanation of the answers, and how well you can present the same in terms of diagram. So all these can be analyzed, right? So and of course, one point I want to make sure here is, while writing the 6 marks, we don't usually ask for introduction, explanation, and the conclusion type answers. Okay, that was there when we had 10 mark questions. But there are people till today who expect the same structure of answers to be written. Okay, they ask, when everything is fine in the paper, they say, I think if they would have written, 2 lines of introduction, a body of explanation, and the conclusion, it would have been fine. So this structure will also be asked by few evaluators. So if at all, if you can do, it will be nice that if you can structure your 6 markers, anyhow you are going to write the answer in the given, 20 sentences. First 2 sentences, put it or mention it as introduction, go for the explanation or the body of content, and finally write again 2 lines on the conclusion. What you write, change the structure, okay, the way you are writing. So that will be helping you to get an additional mark over that. Okay, next one. See, these are the few, I have picked up few questions, so wherein I can tell you where the marks were cut. Okay, this is a law of variable proportions, right? This will be asked for 6 marks. I just told you how to structure the 6 marks question. First, what you have to write here is, you have to define what is law of variable proportions. Okay, given a factors of production, one will be constant, the other will be changed, and this belongs to time period. Which time period? Short run or long run? Short run, right? So mention that. So these are the things what we are expecting. Okay, so start with a definition. Okay, then you give the statement, and if at all, if you are known the propounded in law of diminishing marginal utility, very popular question, you know who propounded it. It's the first basic law of economics. So all that you can bring in there, you can put all these details in the introduction, which adds value to your answer. Okay, then once it is done, then you will be explaining the TP, AP and MP with the definition and the formula. Present the table there. Okay, table, if you can, if you have the set table that you've been taught in the class, you can do that, or you can derive there only, it's not a problem. But whatever you do, based on the same thing, you have to draw the diagram. It is for 6 marks. What I am saying is, once you have given some table and your diagram does not go well with the same table, marks 6 out of 6 is a doubt. Okay, so what I am expecting you is, graphing, right? So whatever the table you have derived, draw the diagram based on the table. Take the x-axis, y-axis numbers. Based on that, you have to draw. And here, especially in this diagram, what a valuator look forward is, though it is a freehand, if at all, if you are marking based on the table, it's well and good. Diagrams come out very well and very specific also. But provided, you should make sure, what are the points that we look into the diagram? One is the inflection point, a point where the curve nature changes, the slope of the curve changes. That will happen, the TP curve starts raising here, and at a point where AP and MP start, especially MP bends down, okay, there the inflection point should be there, okay, and the first stage will be a portion or a point where AP and MP intersect each other. So this portion obviously should be parallel to this. Vertical line drawn here should always give one point of inflection. From this point, again the slope of the curve has changed. The second point that I look into, this point should be vertical to the point where MP becomes 0. And the decreasing portion of TP should always be, in accordance with the negative portion of MP. So these are the things that we look into the diagrammatic representation. Are these points represented aptly? Okay, we may draw the diagram in a free hand, just show 3 stages and finish it off. But what I am saying is, when you want out, these are the smallest things that you need to look into. So please, when you are explaining the diagram based on the table, make sure you draw the axis, okay, take the graphical representation of the numbers, mark the diagram accordingly, and be specific with that. And in one paper, everything was fine, everything A to Z, all question answers were fine, but the only mistake that they had done is the axis was not mentioned. One. Second, it was mentioned the other way around. This was X, this was named as X, and this was named as Y. Though, see, in mathematics, statistical, theories, they may have reasons to change the axis, but in economics, universally we have accepted this as x-axis, where we take only the dependent variable, y-axis to be independent variable, and that goes by definition, it's the same thing. So mentioning axis is also very important, and naming the axis, what you have taken on x-axis, what you have taken on y-axis. So all these things matter when you want to score out. Okay, please, next time. And the other question related to the same chapter is to explain the relationship between TP, AP and MP. Here, as I told you, if it is for 4 marks, just give the definition, present the diagram, and start the diagrammatic explanation. And whenever you are explaining a diagram, first point would be what you have taken on x-axis, what you have taken on y-axis, and if at all, if there is unit of measurement, what are they? Okay. After that, start explaining the relationship. What happens? See here, we expect only 3 points. What happens to AP and MP when TP rises? Then TP is constant, TP falls. Only these 3 things are expected in the answer. Okay. So all these need to be taken into consideration while you make sure that these answers are represented, especially when there are diagrams. Please make sure the presentation of answers, the explanation of points, highlighting them are more important. Okay, there you have features of perfect computation. I have seen many of the answers, see, whatever the first thing, start with the definition. What is perfect computation? After that, the perfect computation has following features. So you name any. See, if you start naming, you can have 8 to 10 features of perfect computation. Okay, there are different reasons or rationale to write and present the features. Here, what happens is, these are the 5 things which we essentially look into this answer. Okay, these 5 features need to be written, and each of these points, what I expect, when you say large number of buyers, can you specify a number there? You cannot. So what we do is, you have to put in this, they are so large in number, wherein a presence of one person or one firm, existence or exit of one person or a firm from the market will make no difference. As if now, the Ganapati Jatra is going on in Bangalore, presence of one person in the fair and the absence of one person in the fair, does it make any difference to the people who are there? It definitely not. Perfect competition is like that. Okay, it's just like an ocean. take a cup of water from ocean, it makes no difference. Okay. Homogeneous products, we know it's all identical. Identical in what? Shape, color, size, quality and all that. See, and basically these are the assumptions that we have taken in terms of features. So please make sure that you express yourself very correctly, cleanly, aptly. Okay. Third one is firms are price takers, because why do you say so? You have to resonate that. Okay. My point, what I'm trying to make it clear here is this: whenever you write a point, make sure you give a reason to it, give some rationale why you are stating that point. That is what is expected. Okay. So no individual firm has any influence on market price. So obviously that is why we are just the market price takers in the perfect competition. And of course, why you say there is free entry and exit? There is no incentive for coming in and no barriers to exit or enter. So because of that, okay. Then perfect information, what does it mean? Everybody is aware of the price mechanism there, okay. And these are the things that we expect from this particular answer. Next one. And this is one question which is repeatedly asked, and more technical it is. You can't just these are the things which are expected when you give a challenging paper, probably. Okay. 3 conditions for identifying the profit maximization condition. One is where price will be equal to MC, or else it will be MR is equal to MC point. Okay. Then MC should be non-decreasing at QO. Okay. This is a word which is more important. We can also explain it in terms of, where MC will not be decreasing and all that. But, follow or carry on the key terms which are taught to you, so that, they have a different implication in scoring marks than though you express yourself in your own words. We are not saying no for it, but few concepts need to be taken as it is. That will help you to get better marks. And, price will be more than ABC in the short run and LAC in the long run. Okay. So these are the important conditions. Coming to the diagram, same thing. Please, when you are explaining the diagram, make sure name the axis, okay, and mention or the variables that you have taken, okay. Mention the point of intersections, mention the point of inflection, mention the curves properly, name the curves. Everything would have been written. You might not have you might have forgotten to write MC then. So that will definitely not fetch the marks to you, complete marks. Okay. Next one. Next. This is related to the same equilibrium. See this break even and shutdown. Try to, when you are learning, please make learn like this, with the same diagram. Mark both the points in the same diagram, so that you will be knowing the difference also, and you will also be able to explain it. If given for 2 marks, okay, you can say what is break even and what is shutdown point. Okay, so usually that will be asked for 2 markers. Okay, but apart from that, okay, you can also be aware of that. For 2 marks, you need not write the diagram. Actually, you need to have just the conceptual explanation. Okay, next one. This is a question, okay, wherein mostly asked, and people might lose the marks, because so you will be asked for 6 marks to explain how all 3 methods of measuring national income gives the same result. You explain it everything, but after that, as I told you, for 6 markers, start with the introduction. That is a must, okay, have that structure in your mind. After that, present a table like this. Numbers can vary. You are very free to change the numbers and you can represent. But what I am saying is, if you represent the same thing in the table, explain the same downwards in terms of sentences. Okay, so you are presenting all the 3 methods in the same single table. Okay, here you have 2 firms. Intermediate goods are, the value of intermediate goods is 0 here, because let's assume this is a agricultural firm, okay, which produces rubber, and the value of that rubber will be 1,000 rupees sold to the tire manufacturing company. Now here's, as I told you, the value of sales is 1,000 rupees, and after finishing, converting the same rubber into a tire, it's a finished product. Once it is sold for 5,000. That's the final sale value there. What is the value addition? It was 1,000 rupees worth of rubber. now sold for 5,000. That means the value addition is 4,000. So accordingly, for this production process, wage, rent, interest, profit paid is like this. This being the primary sector, you have less returns to factors of production. This being the manufacture sector, you have higher returns for factors of production. Okay. So bring in these points, then start explaining. In expenditure method, what do we count on? We count on, expenditure done. Here it is C plus I plus G, okay, X minus M. We neither have I here, we neither have G, X minus M is not there. So what exactly, only amount we have is, we have spent 5,000 rupees on buying a tire. So that will be the value of GDP. Instead of substitute 5,000 in place of C plus 000, so GDP value will be 5,000. Next, product method. Here, what is product method is also called as value addition method, right? So what is the value added here? 1,000 plus 4,000, so GDP value will be 5,000. And ultimately, it's income method, adding up all the incomes that you have. Adding up the wages, rent, interest and profit. All together, it is 5,000 rupees. Okay. So through this, practically you're showing or explaining that all three methods of measuring national income gives the same result. Next. And mostly, you have different ways of putting across this answer, and most repeatedly it is given. And whenever question paper setter has to make the question paper more difficult, definitely this question will be there. Okay, if they have to increase their difficulty level. You remember in the blueprint I show knowledge, understanding and all that. Hot question is there now. Hot question is one of the, this is one of the hot question. Higher order thinking skill question. Okay, where you have to explain how a planned or unplanned accumulation or decumulation takes place. Okay, see, the whole idea behind the concept is, this is unplanned. Unplanned can happen without, expecting, any kind of expected situations. There can be some unexpected sales problem, market problem and all that. So previous year stock will be 100, production, the present year production will be 1,000, but actual sales will take up only for 600. And that's how the final inventory will end up being 500. So the stock has increased and which you had not planned. Vice versa, there also. Same thing happened for unplanned also. So if these questions are asked, please present the answer in the tabular form, then you start answering. Because I have seen people answering in the length of a page for this answer, and evaluator will not go through each and every sentence you have written. Though you have written completely, okay, they might end up giving 5. So instead, produce this or present this in a tabular form, which is easy to grasp and value. Below that, you start in sentences. Okay, you write explain in sentences. Okay. So as I told you, have enough time now with the present question paper pattern. So you can definitely try this. Okay. Next one. Next. And there is one question wherein GDP as a measure of welfare. How do you substantiate this? For this answer, first is you have to explain what is welfare. Welfare is the well-being, but it is multi-dimensional concept. Multi-dimension, why? Because it has all 4 different dimensions of a human life. If it is, everything is fine, then you term that condition to be a welfare point of view. Okay. So that need to be written, the first thing. Second is, see, GDP is only a economic aspect of welfare. So it is not a whole through concept. Okay. So naturally, GDP is a part of welfare, not the entire welfare as such. So that's why GDP cannot be measured on the basis of welfare, or welfare cannot be measured or based on the GDP. So GDP does not stand as a measuring rod of welfare. Now, what are the 3 points? You have 3 points here. See, 3 points, each point carry 2 marks here. Okay. So 1, 2 and 3. For 2 marks, what we expect, the first concept will be distribution of GDP, where there will be the income gap between the rich and poor. This is 1 point what we expect. And because of increased difference between rich and poor, you have income inequalities that result in income inequalities. And then when there are income inequalities, you can't say everything is fine. So that is one thing. And here, increase in GDP can also be due to increase in prices. So that's inflation. Factor of inflation will also be there to increase the GDP and national income. So that need to be negated. In non-monetary transactions, you have to mention 2 important points. One is household and informal sectors are taken into consideration here. and because of that, when accounts are not maintained well, there will be underestimation of GDP. So that is the thing. And externalities, positive and negative, and the negative externalities has a implicit cost. If not explicit, implicit costs will be there. So these concepts need to be written here. Next one. Next. Most repeated question from national income chapter. As you have features of indifference curve in consumer behavior, you have national income identities from this chapter. Okay, the most repeated thing. So here again, see, there are 6 formulas or 6 identities, 6 to 7 are there, but you need to write 6 must. Okay, so for each of that, start with the definition and the formula and expand the variables in the formula. If at all, if you abbreviate them, expand and write. Okay, so next one. This is from income and employment determination chapter. See, this is, you will be asked for a short note on aggregate demand. So it comprises of 2 things, investment and consumption together leads to the aggregate demand. So here, why I have put this slide is, most of the students start the aggregate demand again from here, or they start from origin. See, whenever why the consumption curve start above the origin. Sorry? Autonomous consumption means? Yeah, see, are we all working now? Provided, I think no, right? Though we don't have any income, though the income is 0, our consumption is there. We are doing the consumption, we are consuming things. That means, if I start consumption from this point, that implies that consumption is 0. No human being, a surviving or alive human being can be can have 0 consumption. So that is why always the consumption curve will be above the origin point. It will be, the intercept will be different, on the origin will be different. And investment, definitely government will invest, autonomous investment, you know the concept, right? So the addition of this will push up the AD curve above the origin point, and the intercept of AD will be above the intercept of consumption and the investment curve. Make sure this. So once if you start doing this, because most of the diagrams will have AD starting from an lower intercept concept, so that should not happen for scoring 100 on 100, what I am saying. Okay, next, as I told you, a mediocre and average paper, if they start here also, we will round up and give the marks, but not for the person who has scored 100 on, want to score 100 on. Okay, next. Yeah, the other one is paradox of thrift. In this particular question, you will start with saying what is the implication of saving on the economy. Okay, then who popularized it. So all this comes for the introduction. Okay, basically this is for a 6 marks question. I'm saying, as I told you, start with the introduction with these points, and after that, you know, you have to relate what is the implication of saving on aggregate demand. Okay, increase or decrease, what happens, okay, and when the mass saving happens, what is it long run implication on the economy. So these are the 3 points that we look into for this particular answer. Okay, and each point 2 marks. Okay, next. Diagram related to the same, as I told you, make sure, see, keeping this as a, you know, background diagram. Even in the previous diagram, you know, where you are explaining the aggregate demand, you start from the consumption curve. The intercept of consumption and the AD curve will be the same. Okay, so that mistake should not happen. See, the aggregate saving, here, the aggregate demand curve has shifted here. So the shift implication is different. That's why the intercept is common here. But it is not so in the previous one. So don't have that confusion. So these are the simple mistakes which might happen. You will not do it. It will happen. So make sure that these are avoided to score sentence. Next one. Yeah, budget chart. See, this is for 4 marks. Last time in the evaluation, we had a lot of discussion on this. See, if this, the question is write the budget chart. Here you don't need to write, you know, introduction, conclusion, nothing. You just have to present a chart. And a very clear, legible presentation is important. Diagrammatic representation is important. If this is given, okay, most of them might give 4. Few of them will not give 4 on 4. Can you guess why? This is the diagram which is there in the NCERT textbook. This is a diagram which will be there in the scheme of valuation. This is a diagram which will be there in the most of your guides, probably, if you are referring to, or most of the practice sessions we have done. We do this, but even I won't give. You know why? There is something missing in this. Receipts subdivision. Okay. See, when you are explain capital receipts, you will not stop here, right? You will go further. What are the two subsections you have in capital receipts? Loans and sale of assets or disinvestment. Okay, that also matters, or that also helps for inflow of capital, isn't it? So that has to be mentioned here. Okay, so please make sure this particular chart, if it is asked, do mention those two segments in the capital receipts. Okay, that completes your answer. And as I told you before, you should never give a scope for cutting the marks. Okay, so you should never give a reason, because in the NCERT textbook, I agree the diagram is there, but when you are explaining, teachers would have told you that. So when the chart is asked, you have to complete the chart with all the subheadings and the required subdivisions. Okay, so that should be taken. So intentionally I have not put it here, just to make sure that though this is written, you might not be given that last 1 marks. Okay, next one. The one more question, Ricardian equivalence. Lot of confusions over this. It is very simple. Whether the government imposes tax today or tomorrow, the effect is same. This is only one line explanation that we expect. Okay, what is the effect of that? Now, if government imposes tax on you, cut the tax right now, of course, for short run we might enjoy the benefits, but will the benefits will be continued for the long run? Will we start enjoying like, yeah, there is no tax on this, let's spend more? The second thought comes, tax has come down, okay, let us start saving. They might, or they will definitely increase the taxes tomorrow. This is the common logical thinking that we have. Same thing Ricardo said, the concept is taken as Ricardian equivalence. Okay, so this need to be explained. If possible, you can write or you can present the same in terms of numerical explanation or the numerical example too. Next one. Yeah, the one more component of current account. This is complete. Okay, 4 marks, only the chart is asked. The entire chart need to be written. Okay, so no need for further diagrammatic or any kind of explanation. Then next one you have is components of capital account, same portion of 2. And 6 marks, it will be asked together. And the 6 marks, you also have revenue and capital expenditure, comparison and analysis. As I told you before, when you are comparing something, compare based on the definition, the concept, the examples also. What comes there, what comes here. So that need to be clearly mentioned. And here, see, when you write direct investment, you have FDI and FII possible. Below this, write the complete expansion, though it is not asked. As I tell you, your effort is to score 100 on 100. So you make that little effort wherein you give a complete explanation of what you have presented in your answer. There should not be no scope that like, yeah, this is not written, or it might be a kind of, a question. This cannot be questioned. So you can always expand those and you can write. Next. Yeah, I was just telling you, short note on balance of payment for 6 marks is asked. What is expected? Statement, that is, the definition. This is basically the definition. Start with the definition. And the introduction you can give is like, BOP is the reflection of a state's or an economy's international stand. Okay, the importance of international market. The presence of country in the international market will be reflected in the BOP of a particular country. So then you can start with the definition. Main portion will be asked about, you have to define what is current account, capital account, what are the components. Just now you saw the chart. Same thing can be represented here, which adds value. And of course, and the last one, the types of BOP need to be written. Okay, this need to be written because this is what is expected. Though they say short note, if you explain the component, that will be fine enough, but for that extra value that you are expecting, you have to write the 3 concepts, because the scheme, most of the schemes have it, so naturally it will be asked for. Next one. Project oriented question. I just want to make clear that again, it's the personal experience. Last time what I had, a paper 100 on 100, okay, there was a reviewer who said no, it cannot be given 100 on 100. Why? Because student has directly written this, okay, 8 apples 4 mangoes, it was directly written. But for the 100 marks paper, as I told you, it will be put on for the website and anybody can question. Derivation is also important, and they were expecting this. So please make sure you write that completely. Apple's income is so much, per unit apple is so much. So if you divide so much, out of income by price will give you the given number of apples and mangoes. That's one thing. AR, MR and this should be MR. Okay, calculation that is there. So I have no issues with this. You will do it. And here we don't expect any explanation or formula or anything. Provided if you can write the formulas, that will be better. Okay. As I told you in the beginning of the presentation, this is deleted. So this will never be asked for this particular year. The gold standard is deleted. You don't have a project-oriented question, neither the 6 marks on that. For the demonetization question, what is expected for 5 marks? What is demonetization? First is when it was introduced, objective behind introduction to that. Okay. Then advantages and disadvantages. Probably if you cover these components, 1 mark for each of these. Okay. So naturally you will have 5 on 5. Okay. Then family budget. One doubt in most of the students ask is, should it balance all the time? Not necessarily. Only thing is you need to represent the columns of income and the expenditure completely. Okay, that is what is there. You need to present how the what is the source of income, what are the expenditure items. That is what is required. If you can balance, it's well and good. If not, also no problem. Okay, it is not necessary that it should be balanced all the time. And lastly, you have identifying the currencies of 5 nations. Okay. Only thing is that first thing, make sure that you work out the formula and then you derive the answers. I just observed few question papers of the previous time. So these are the things which are, asked most number of the times, the questions which are repeated most number of times. So you can give an extra portion of time during your revisions for these questions. Okay, next. Next. As I told you, see the national income identities, every alternate exam it will be asked for. Okay, so practice that with little more interest. So these are the things I've been telling you through the presentation. I'll just run through quickly. Legible and neat handwriting, no overwriting, especially with the objective questions. Okay, don't do that. And one of the things what we have observed is, see, for first question, A will be the answer. You write A and leave it there. This cannot be objected, but that's not accepted for 100 marks paper. Okay, don't write the options. Okay, write the answers with the options probably. If you don't write option also, it's fine. A, B or C, it doesn't matter. But write the answer. Number 1, what is the answer? That is expected. Okay. Then, as I told you, write in the order of questions asked. First, start with the objective type. I think first 2 sheets should have objective types in the same order. See, that will enable the evaluator to do the faster and clearer. See, you are, you are producing your product to the market. So presentation is also important. Commerce students, that marketing value, how to enhance your marketing value. So presentation is more important here. Okay. Next thing is, write the main number and the question numbers. As I told you, you might miss on 3, 8, 9, overwriting, all that. Best questions possible to answer. The first 15 minutes where you will be asked first 15 minutes will be given to understand the question paper. So there you find out what is the best question that you can answer. Prioritize your learning. Based on that, you have to choose the answer that you need to write. And stick to the length and sentences what is asked for. Okay, don't exceed that. Marginal existence is not a problem, but if it is asked for 2 marks, don't write a page or 1.5 page on that because you know so much about it. Okay, that should not be done. Highlight the subheadings. You cannot use the red color pen, as you know that, apart from that you can use anything, blue, black, pencil, all that. So leaves enough gap between the answers so the presentation looks very, very nice and neat and clear. Okay. Then remember, you have only one answer script to write. The evaluator has 250, 270, 300 answer scripts to value. So having that in mind, present your product. Okay. And of course, here what happens is most of the students, they write the subheadings within the margins. You know, see, margin is meant to write the main number and the question number. Whatever the subpoints are writing, please make sure it is inside the answer with like right side to the margin. Okay. So that will be helpful for the marks will not be cut for that, but that will be helpful for the evaluator to evaluate the answer very well. Okay. And extra questions, and of course all the merit students, all the papers, you know, which cross 97 will have definitely the extra questions. But make a portion of that it is written at the end of the answer script. Okay. That means you're finished writing your 80 marks, attempting 80 marks, 37 questions, 36 questions. After that, you start writing the extra questions. Okay. So that will be more, easier for the evaluator also. They'll find out. And if you write inside also, it's not a problem. But then, present the diagrams and tables neatly. As I told you, no overwriting, no overlapping of the curves. Okay. No erasing and writing again on that. So there should not be any double imprint of the curves and the lines. Okay. And the naming of the variables is important. Marking the axis is important. Explaining the same in terms of the answers is also equally important. So please make sure that these things are taken into consideration. This you can skip. I just had done it. Next. Same thing what I spoke all this time. It is the same. Next one, please. Next. This is my important thing. All my merit students do this. Okay. First 85% of the time that is given to you, you start thinking, yeah, I know this, I know this, I know this, I know this is important. I know all the points in this. You will be thinking so much that ultimately you will have no time to write what you have taught. Okay. So please make sure, as I told you, you have enough time this time. 80 marks, okay, 3 hours, 15 minutes is like huge time that you have got. So please leisurely, relaxedly, without any tension and stress, please present your answers. Okay. So next one. Okay. I end up with this. So I hope you will have all your photos on the flex next time when I come, and Natra sir will show all the pictures. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening words.
We now request the heads of the Department of Commerce, Prasanna Kumar sir and Anupama ma'am, to present the token of gratitude to our speaker.
So much for
Thank you,
coming.
sir. It's always an honor. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, Gata. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, teachers.
All the best, guys. Do well.
We would like to take this opportunity to thank our Honorable Chairman, Dr. Chandra Jochan sir in absentia, and our respected Principal, Dr. S.N. Natrat sir in absentia, for the perpetual encouragement.
We would also like to thank the heads of the Department of Commerce, Prasanna Kumar sir, Anupama ma'am, and all the teachers who have always been supportive for our initiatives and encouraged us to strive for excellence.
Additionally, we would like to thank the teachers of the Special Training Program Committee, Manjunatha C sir, Vijay Lakshmi ma'am, and Uma ma'am, for their extensive support in enabling this program.
We also extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. Deepa ma'am for gracing this program with her presence and impactful words.